No. Well, hey everyone, and welcome to my channel. I'm Nikki, and today's video I'm sharing a Sunday reset with you guys. I've got a list of things that I want to get done today and I need to get done today, and I'm gonna be bringing you guys along with me to maybe give some motivation or inspiration and just kind of show how things work for me on my weight loss and wellness journey. If you enjoyed this video or find it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. And let's get started talking about what my plan is for today. I'm gonna be prepping some things for the week, including some breakfast sandwiches. I'm actually gonna make some for both me and Adam. And I think this happened last time I made these. I have two different types of English muffins. So these are from Trader Joe's. They're just their whole wheat English muffins, 3 points for one. And then I also have a pack of these Thomas light English muffins, which are 2 points for one. Either works, and it's just nice to have different options that we enjoy that are low point, but I'm gonna just be using all of these up today because I'm making 12 sandwiches. I'm going to use these egg molds, which I just got off Amazon, and I can link them in the description, but I just sprayed these with some nonstick olive oil spray, and then I'm gonna crack an egg into each one. I'll probably add some seasoning to it, and maybe I'll chop up a veggie really quick to add. I usually like to do that as well. Sometimes I have chopped onion ready too, but I have to see what I have in the fridge for it. So I'll pop those in the oven to bake really quickly, and then I just assemble the sandwiches using the English muffins. I actually, before I filmed this video, made some bacon because I just wanted to have it ready, and I was working on something else. It was easy to just put it out on a tray and then pop it in the oven. So I've got the bacon already cooked that I'm gonna be putting on the breakfast sandwiches. And then for some of them, I was also gonna use some of this turkey sausage that I have. That's just so I can mix up the options of protein, but both are good lower point options. You can have 2 slices of bacon for 2 points, and I need to double check the points on these, but it's 130 calories and 13 grams of protein for 2 patties. Those will be the breakfast sandwiches I'm making. Then the next thing I'm doing is some mixed berry muffins, which are in my cookbook. I'll just show you those really quickly. I'm thinking about doing a double batch so I can freeze some and have them as an option before the gym. But last time I kind of messed up when I made muffins ahead of time. I put paper liners in, and it made them much harder to take off when they were frozen or even after thawing them. So I'm not gonna do the liners this time. But anyway, I'm gonna make some muffins. The last thing I'm prepping today is gonna be some chicken burgers, but I'm not gonna do those until I've done a little bit of organizing. And one of my organizing tasks today is to do the back patio, get the grill set up. I kind of need to just sweep it off because there's a bunch of leaves, and wipe down the chairs and stuff and kind of get it set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then I'll be able to grill the burgers after, which I've got 2 pounds of ground chicken. I just add some egg and panko. Again, that's another recipe that's in my cookbook, but I'll be able to get 10 burger patties out of it, and then I'll have them in the fridge ready for meals throughout the week. I'm gonna make some chicken burgers, and then while this stuff is baking in the oven before I start the back patio, I'm actually gonna go organize my cookie room because I need to restock my flour and put some stuff away. I had a busy weekend of orders, and it's kind of just a mess in there right now because I finished them up and then I just never cleaned up. So I need to go finish that and do some cleaning. So I'm gonna do that while the stuff is baking, and then I'll go out to the back patio and get that done. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the breakfast sandwiches first. I need to get the eggs in the oven so that they're ready to assemble with the sandwiches, and then I'll be able to bake the muffins right after the eggs come out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I wanted to get the eggs baking right away so that I could assemble the sandwiches. I like to let them cool before I do that. So first of all, I like to keep a garbage can next to me while I'm doing this. It makes it go much quicker and just easier cleanup. But these are just jumbo silicone egg molds that I got off of Amazon, and I can link them in the description. I just spray them with some nonstick spray and crack an egg into each one with some salt and pepper. And every time I start to make these, I remember that I want to make a blended up version and just pour them in, and then I just forget. So I will do that next time, but for this time, I just chopped up some red onion to add those in because it gives some extra flavor to the eggs while they're baking. And I just pop them into the oven for 7 minutes at 350. Usually then I rotate them and check on them, and it takes another 7 minutes or so for them to be done. Moving on to the muffins, I decided to make a double batch, and this is just going off of the recipe in my cookbook, although today I used a different brown sugar instead of monk fruit, and I didn't have frozen mixed berries, so I just used fresh blueberries, which turned out totally fine. I make sure not to overmix them when I add the blueberries in, and then I just spray a muffin tin with some nonstick spray and evenly distribute the muffin batter. I also topped them with some extra blueberries once they were done, just because there wasn't that much mixed in, and I just liked how they look with them on top. Then moving on to my cookie room, I had just finished up a busy week of orders, and this is usually what the aftermath looks like because usually I'm just finishing up and wanting to be done with everything, and then I go back for cleanup. So I'm putting everything away where it belongs, which honestly, with this new cookie room, the setup is so nice that everything has a spot. It was also time to refill my flour and sugar, and I had just gone to Sam's Club and bought a bunch of flour. I wait until the tub is fully empty until I restock it again. So I have these bags that I'm just pouring in, and one thing about me, after I worked at a bakery for a long time, I kind of developed an allergy to flour. Not eating it, but inhaling it, I have a really bad reaction and I cannot stop sneezing. So that's why I'm trying to be careful mixing it around so that it doesn't create too much of like the flour dust. But I definitely go through flour much faster than sugar, so I needed a lot more of that. The sugar bin I usually only fill about halfway, and I've got 2 of these 25-pound bags from Sam's Club that work perfectly. Of course, I made a mess pouring the flour and sugar, and it was all over the counter, but there was also a lot of hardened royal icing from the order I had worked on, so I just needed to clean it down anyway. This is also the area where I airbrush cookies, so I'll do like the stencils and stuff, which you'll see me putting away in a minute, but sometimes there's the residue from airbrushing and it's all over the counter, so it looks so colorful, and that's why I need to make sure to do this a lot or it will start to stain. And one of the best things about having this setup now is having my tips all next to me like this. I keep them organized and they're just labeled by each one. And it's so nice when I'm working on cookies to be able to just grab one because I have to switch out tips so many times if they get clogged or if I need to change them depending on what I'm decorating. Then these were the stencils that I mentioned before. So I just have this binder with the clear pages that holds 4 stencils in each one. They're kind of unorganized right now, but I try to keep them by similar designs. So I've got like stripes, polka dots, and then they're by holiday as well. Then the timing was perfect when I finished up in the cookie room. The muffins were done baking in the oven and they baked perfectly. They looked kind of funny with the blueberries on top, but they came out to 2 points apiece and they were delicious. Then moving on to the backyard to clean off the patio because I needed to get the grill set up to make the burgers. This is what I was starting with. It's kind of a mess, and as you can see, our grill cover got destroyed. I ordered a new one, but for now, it's fine because I need to take it off to use the grill. My next step was pretty much just to clear off the patio so I could sweep it, and you can see there were a bunch of leaves that had gotten stuck on the cushions and in the chairs, but it was easy to just kind of shake them out and get them cleared off. And to be honest, I didn't really have a plan of how I was going to be setting this up. We put these chairs and the couch just in the yard last year, but I didn't really like that. I wanted to have somewhere to sit on the patio, so I wanted to arrange it in a way that would work for us, even though I'll probably end up moving it in a week. But I actually preferred that the grill wasn't against the house, so I tried moving it against the post to see if I liked that more because I wanted the couch against the house. That's what I sit on the most when I'm just out back sitting, so that's just how I set it up this time. And once I got this all set up, I made sure to start preheating the grill so that I could cook the chicken burgers. Everything worked out perfectly today with timing of finishing this up, and by the time I had cleaned up the patio, it was perfectly preheated for me to go start the chicken burgers. And I almost forgot, I still had to assemble the breakfast sandwiches, so I just like to wrap these in foil. I get the foil from Sam's Club, and I just make sure to break open each English muffin using a fork. The first ones I'm making with the turkey sausage patties that I have, and then the eggs, as well as some thin sliced Colby Jack cheese. And then because I had way more bacon made, and honestly I just prefer the bacon on these sandwiches, I made the rest of them using some bacon and reduced fat Jarlsberg Swiss cheese. And for these breakfast sandwiches, I usually like to just store them in the fridge for the week because when I make them, I just eat them that week. But Adam likes to have them last a little bit longer because he packs them for his work lunches. So usually he just pops them in the freezer, and then when he packs them for work, sometimes they're thawed by the time he gets there, or if they're not, he just separates them and heats the egg and the meat, usually a little bit longer than the English muffin and the cheese, and then he'll just heat it up in a microwave with a paper towel, and it's usually perfect. Moving on to the chicken burgers today, I've got 2 pounds of ground chicken meat, which is now 0 points on Weight Watchers, and I'm just seasoning that with some salt, pepper, garlic salt, and then this new Kinder seasoning that I got. For 2 pounds of meat, I add 2 eggs, then I add some panko breadcrumbs, and I just use my hands to mix everything together. I use these food safe gloves that I actually get off Webstaurant. The brand that I use for them, I get questions a lot, but the brand is Noble, and I can link them in the description below. But I just find that it's so much easier when it comes to making foods like this. When I like to use my hands, it's nice to have these gloves. But I just use my food scale to weigh out equal portions, and when I do 2 pounds of meat, I usually like to get 10 burger patties. So I think here I had about 1,000 grams of meat, and so each patty was 100 grams. And just so that it goes faster, I usually weigh them out in like balls first, and then I flatten them out into patties once they've all been weighed out. But those are done so I can bring them out to start grilling, and then I also started organizing my makeup while those were cooking. Organizing my makeup is just something that's been on my list for a while and I keep putting it off, so I finally bought a makeup bag that's perfect for this, and it felt good to get it organized, to have these little slots like this for the things that I use the most. Then in the side pocket, I was just putting different tools, and then the bigger items in the bottom. I also had this separate bag for my eyeshadows, which was perfect. And the makeup bag that I got was actually just from Target, but it was the perfect size because I have so many items that I like to just have with me with my most used makeup items. Even if I don't use them every day, I like to have them all in the same spot, so this was a much better way to organize them. And it was a beautiful day out, so while I was doing this on the back patio and getting this all organized, I had the burgers cooking on the grill, and it just took a few minutes on each side because it was preheated, and I just have to make sure they cook fully through. Okay, so I got done prepping my ingredients. I've got the chicken burgers here, which I just used that Kinder's chicken Italian seasoning. I'm excited to see how that is with this. And I feel like it would be good to use these on sandwiches like regular burgers, but also to cut them up and add them to pasta and do some kind of like chicken parmesan with them. So that's what I like to have these for, just a bunch of different meals, even rice bowls, they work really well for. These will just go in the fridge and be ready to be used for the week. And they're actually 0 points now because unless you track the panko, which is a small amount, these are 0 with the ground chicken that I used. Okay, then my muffins are done, which I just have to double check what the points are for these because I made them a little bit differently today with some different brown sugar. I used coconut brown sugar instead of monk fruit sweetener. And then I also used fresh blueberries because I didn't have frozen mixed berries like I thought I had. I just ended up making blueberry muffins, but I did already eat one and they're really good, but these are ready for the week as well. Then I've got the breakfast sandwiches all done and wrapped up in foil. So I actually like to just keep mine in the fridge for the week. I end up using them up fast enough and then they're just easier for me to heat up, but Adam prefers to freeze them and then he just has them ready for work for the next couple weeks. So we've got some breakfast sandwiches made. The English muffins are 2 to 3 points. The cheese I used on all of them are 2 points for a slice, and then the proteins are all 2 points. So they're all 6 or 7 points for the breakfast sandwich. Pretty filling, and we usually both like to add hot sauce to them. So those are the breakfast sandwiches, and that's everything that I'm prepping for today. I also feel good that I got some cleaning and organizing done. I have been putting off setting up that back porch and getting the grill set up, but now that it is ready, I feel like I'm gonna be doing a lot more grilling. So I'm happy about that and feeling good that that's done and organized. Also my makeup, which is always a mess, and the cookie room. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Maybe got a little bit of motivation or inspiration to get some stuff done around your house as well. It is hard, and especially balancing everything else in life, it is hard to stay organized and prep some things ahead like this, but I always try to prioritize it as best as I can, and I hope these videos are helpful. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please go ahead and give it a like and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.